Welcome to Business Northeast, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you here. So, ma'am, my first question will be: how does UNESCO approaches the ethics of AI?
So the concept of the ethics of AI is framed in our recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence, which was adopted in 2021 by 193 member states, and that applies to its 194 member states at the moment. And the question of ethics is very clear and neat in the case of UNESCO, and it must abide by human rights and fundamental freedoms. So it's a very objective measure of ethics, and we intend ethics as something by design. That is, it has to embed the whole process, the whole life cycle of AI systems, from its design to use and to the deployment of AI technologies.
Ma'am, how does it going to help the upcoming generation and to enhance the economy?
So AI has enormous opportunities. Of course, we hear more and more also the discussion about jobs that might be lost, but there is a whole range of opportunity to solve problems that humanity has been struggling with, including, for instance, dealing with the environment and how to best preserve it. So I think it opens a whole lot of opportunities, also and especially to the young generations, because there is a lot of creativity at stakes, there is a lot of possibilities that can be leveraged, and so it's an issue of knowing how to enter, it's an issue of contributing. At the end of the day, AI is a technology that is relatively accessible in the sense that if with a good computer and with good skills, you can already produce some AI that applies in order to solve concrete problems. So this is what our youth are really rich of: creativity. They spot what is needed and they can contribute, so there can be engagement. And so this is the kind of possibilities I see that could really lead to further developments. That is, by the time we know how to solve a problem, by the time we can address a need, of course then the economics goes with it. So there are a lot of possibilities, there are a lot of good innovations that can be deployed, again, if we do it ethically.
So we don't need to be scared of the AI that people are saying these days. There are rumors that AI might take our jobs. It could take over the human possibilities of jobs. So we should not be scared towards that, I believe.
We should be prepared rather than scared. That is, any technological trajectory, any new technological paradigm like now AI has changed the way the world was. So imagine before electricity. And imagine before, for instance, the engine, the steam engine. So we have seen this before, perhaps not at the same pace, perhaps not with the same implication in a so short space, but we have seen it before. So the idea is really to be prepared to have the skills for the digital era, both the cognitive, so the technical skills, and the social emotional, that is the ability to cope with change. And this will lead us to actually benefit the maximum from the AI and what AI can deliver in terms of possibilities.
Okay, ma'am, last question is that what are some of the most pressing global challenges that UNESCO face during this kind of initiatives?
Well, we don't really face challenges. It's we are really eager to partner with each and every country that is in our member states, and both also to work at the global and the local level, because that gives us the wealth of information that allows us then to help countries understand what can be done better, what is already done very well, and how to move forward at a pace that actually allows not to lose the touch with the technology, so not to have the technology go ahead without, let's say, the policies around it being able to accommodate for that and to steer that in the direction that we want. As I was saying during this conference, I think what we really need to ask ourselves is, what do we want these technologies to do for us? And not limit the potential. I mean, the wealth of possibilities is enormous. What we need to agree on instead is what we surely don't want these technologies to do, so that we know what shouldn't be done and the rest can go and we have innovation flourishing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can I have one?